It's a little way up there. Hello, 안녕하세요. Ryan Walters here for the first time at Ulsan Munsu Stadium, and I'm with Dan Croydon.
Oh, yeah, you can't see under the mask, but I've got a pretty big smile on my face.
I'm actually surprised that it's not showing through the mask today, because Ulsan Hyundai got their season off to a 5-0 start. 5-0. The floodgates really opened up in the second half there. There was a red card for Gangwon, and then that's when 4 of the 5 goals came in. But on the whole, I thought Ulsan looked pretty good before that as well, yeah?
Yeah, first half, I think we were feeling them out. I definitely think Gangwon came with a game plan to sit deep.
Mm-hmm.
They had 5 at the back at times at the beginning of the first half, trying to hit us on the break. It could have had a couple of goals in the first half. But yeah, we went in 1-0 up with Yumbik Garam with another awesome free kick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the red card in the second half really changed the game. And that's when we found a way through. Gangwon just couldn't cope with our pace.
Yeah. And I think that's the moment that we'll look back on as the red card, but there could have been a goal in the opening 3 minutes. Ko Mu-yeol probably should have scored, but hit it right at Choi Yeon-woo instead. And so it seemed like Gangwon had a chance, but we talked about this a little bit during the game. A very odd tactic for Gangwon and Byung-soo Ball, as we know and love it, for them to sit back and try to hit on the counter. Usually there's a team that wants to keep possession. Do you think that's what did them in today?
I think we were just Ulsan were just a bit fitter.
Okay.
I think Gangwon were second to some balls, and so decided to, see out the first half, and then maybe if they could get a goal in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
That was looking for the classic away performance.
Mm-hmm.
But as I said, the red card put paid to that plan. But yeah, perhaps they were going to open up a bit more second half after keeping it tight in the first.
Which they did do a decent job of keeping it tight in the first half, with the exception of a little bit of magic from Yumbik Garam. I mean, this is somebody that you've picked as your season MVP. And I mean, there were a lot of players that had a lot of good shifts for Ulsan today, and we'll talk about that. But talk just a little bit about what you saw from him today.
I mean, he really ran the midfield there. He seemed to be always finding space, always having 2 or 3 yards around him, head up. Alongside Wondu Jae was also fantastic. Yeah, second half, we got a lot of space in the middle. And if you give Yumbik Garam space, he's going to pick some awesome passes.
Yeah, and speaking of giving a little bit too much space, Kim In-sung got a brace within 10 minutes in the second half there. I think nice for him to get those goals, because, again, we were talking about this during the match, and he finished with 2 goals, and I'm not entirely sure he had a great game. I mean, well finished on the ones that he got, but, that is against a 10-man Gangwon, and I think if we're trying to have something to nitpick on Ulsan today, and why not? I guess, why not? But, I mean, they looked fantastic overall, but I think he'll want to be a little bit sharper a little bit earlier on. But as we were talking about, he did well with the chances that he got. But somebody that I think we need to talk about before we get out of here, there was a young player for you guys that was very impressive today.
Yeah, first half, they gave the debut to an 18-year-old, Kang Yun-gu. Kang Yun-gu. He's signed straight from high school. Don't know much about him at all. He came on briefly in the Club World Cup, but he got the start today, and he played the full first half.
Right.
We've seen quite a few teams rake younger players off after 20 minutes. We made the comment that no one was warming up after 20 minutes here, so that was something quite refreshing to see.
Yeah,
and yeah, he again playing alongside those 2 fantastic midfielders in Wondu Jae and Yumbik Garam. He didn't look out of place. He really played some good, positive forward balls, and always had his head up. So yeah, great debut from him.
Yeah, and I loved how aggressive he was going forward. And this was in the first half, that he just looked comfortable on the ball and was part of that attack from the beginning. A really good debut for him. And again, we got to talk about debuts. Lee Dong-jun, this is his first official match in K-League for Ulsan, and pretty good stuff.
Right, he really kicked it up in the second half there. He seemed to find another gear in terms of pace. I mean, it looked a slightly harsh red card, I've got to say.
Sure.
With my neutral hat on, I think he...
that's the neutral hat?
This is the official neutral hat.
Okay.
But yeah, you could make the case that he was going to be the last man just because of the angle that Lee Dong-jun was running at. But he put so much pressure on those defenders at the beginning of the second half that he really earned, the chance to get that red card. He he did it just before as well. He got to the byline after nicking the ball in the final third. And then, of course, his goal. That was a fantastic finish. There's the coolest of little chips over the keeper.
Just hold L1, boys and girls. Just hold L1, and then you got it. You're good to go. But yeah, I thought a really good debut from him. And we saw Hong Mung-bo being interviewed afterwards, gets his league campaign off to a winning start. A lot of positives from Ulsan today, a team that Dan's obviously partial to and one that I picked to win the league. So I'm happy about that as well today. But a good weekend. There's another match going on right now. So if you're watching this and you're not ready to be done with K-League, Songnam FC is hosting JG United in their return to K-League 1. And if it's anything like this, then folks are in for an entertaining one. So we'll hope for some goals there. But we will be back tomorrow night to talk about our 5 main takeaways, and I feel like we'll have a few things
Well,
from
5 of them right here.
There are 5 right here. That's it. Podcast is done. But if you want to get involved in the podcast, just leave a comment on this video wherever you are watching, and we'll get to those tomorrow. But for now, I have a train to get to, and we have to hope that the rain stops in order for that to happen. But from Ulsan, Munsu Stadium, I'm Ryan Walters, Dan Croydon. Thanks for watching.